In this video, I'm going to be going through the baseline calibration for the KSC3, the knock sensor controller. This will show you how to set your baseline knock intensity threshold, above which the KSC3 will indicate knock. The first step is to open the app, go to options. First thing to do is press off for baseline calibration, and this will populate our details. The first thing then to do is to select a mid RPM and a redline RPM. So this engine has a redline of around 6,000 RPM. I'm going to set the redline at 5,000 RPM because we do need to go a bit higher than 5,000 RPM during the baseline calibration. And for mid RPM, I've set it at 3,000 RPM. You can set it anywhere you want between your redline and idle. Once you've got those numbers, we're ready to do the calibration, and the calibration involves doing a full throttle run from sort of 1800, 2000 RPM to redline, and we're going to monitor what is a normal intensity for the knock frequency window when the engine is not knocking. That's very important. So to do that, on this specific case, I'm going to go to our engine map, and I'm going to put in a very conservative engine map where the ignition is retarded. Maybe you are confident that your engine is not knocking. Whatever you need to do to be sure that your engine is not going to knock when you do your baseline calibration. I'm just going to do a full throttle run in second gear. So I'm just going to come up to 800 RPM. Get ready, put baseline calibration on. It will turn green immediately. If it doesn't, it means it's not on, so make sure that's on. And then we're just going to do full throttle to our red line. Ideally, we want to press off before we lift off the throttle. Let's have a look at the run that we've just recorded and let's see what it tells us. So for RPM, it's told us at 1200 RPM. That was when the intensity from the knock sensor at our knock frequency window was loudest, and it had a peak volume of 1. Then it was 3000 RPM was the next loudest in our mid RPM window, and that was a peak volume of 5. And at 5600 RPM, it gave us a peak volume of 16 in our knock frequency window. So with that information, we can come into our settings here and we can up or down our saved volume to match what the peak volume was. So in this case, I'm just going to set it like one number higher than the peak volume it recorded, except the 5601 at 16, just to be on the safe side. So I'm just going to do another run now, same thing again, and I'm going to see what it tells us. It should be something very similar, in the ballpark. We're just doing this to, if you like, get an average. So that's the second run done there, and we can see that for the lower RPM range, it's given us very approximately the same 1600 RPM, peak volume 2, 3200. It's saying that our peak volume is 4 there, so I'm just going to reduce our save volume by 1 to 5, and our peak volume at 5600 RPM, that time it's recorded 14, so I'm going to bring mine down to 14 as well. So with that, I'm happy that we have set our threshold, our knock frequency intensity threshold has been set. Now you can carry this out as many times as you want until you get comfortable with your saved volume versus the peak volume. That is how you set up the threshold for knock detection with a KSC3 knock sensor controller. And basically with that, you are ready to rock and roll. There are some other things on the app, some other settings, which I'll go through in a later video. If you want to see that, subscribe to the channel, check out the MoviChip website. All the links are in the video description below. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you again next time.